things from the first 13 games, now as you move forward, what are the things that you really want to see steps forward starting Wednesday?
I think first of all, what I'd like to see is individually there's some things that there's certain things you can't change about what you can do as a player, but there's certain things that individually we'd like to pick up. Number one, and you could go right down the list, and I won't bore you, but there's every player could do a couple things. But collectively, certainly we have to be better inside, scoring around the basket. We have to be more efficient at the free throw line. We have to be more. We have to do everything offensively better because we got to learn to score a little bit better. Defensively, we've been okay, but I think trying to find some balance in our offense. Trying to find someone who's going to score on a consistent basis besides Kelsey Bolte. Developing some consistent depth at all our positions. Who's going to be the backup point guard that can really help. What's going to be your rotation in the post. Are new players going to continue to get better, or are they going to hit the wall and get tired when as a freshman, because a lot of them are playing a lot of minutes. And just I think the next thing is, are we willing and able to make the next step to go from a team that's gone through a non-conference schedule to a team that's 2 weeks away from getting ready to start play in the toughest conference in the country, and we'll see how we handle that.
And the fact that you not only play the toughest conference in the country, but you start off at Baylor, I believe. Mm-hmm. Does that change how you approach these next few days?
Yeah, it really doesn't, and maybe it should, but it doesn't. We have not discussed Baylor for 1 second, and we won't. All we're trying to do, I'm real big on, and you guys have been around me, I'm big on segmenting the season, whether it's one game or so. We have a big sign on the locker room door. It's a 10-game season, 10-day season. We have practices, 4 games, and that's all we're thinking about. And I think because as soon as you start looking ahead at all, we're not good enough to do that. We're just not. We're a team that has to really be locked in on a daily basis, do the hard things, do the grinded out things every single day. That's, and I tell our players all the time, we have to embrace who we are and not apologize for what we're not. I say that all the time, and that's where we are right now. And so we need to get through the North Dakota State game as successfully as we can, have some momentum as far as where we are health-wise. Are we getting better? Have we won some games? And then, ironically, you lace it up for the first time. And maybe against the #1 team in the country. If Connecticut loses to Stanford, we could be going to Baylor to open the Big 12 season against the #1 team in the country. So, we'll think about that later, but it's a possibility.
Coach, what's the background behind this holiday tournament? I see it's the 7th straight year. Did you lobby for this kind of tournament, or was this just
when I first got here, there was one in place over Thanksgiving, and I didn't really like playing at home on Thanksgiving. That was a great time to travel because our kids are out of school. We don't miss any class. And about 8 years ago, we played in a tournament over Christmas in San Diego. We played back-to-back overtime games, came home, limped home, and lost our conference opener to Kansas State. And as soon as that game was over, I told my staff, never again are we going to travel and try and get back home and then turn around and play a conference game. So it was something we wanted. You want to play home games. You want to build your schedule, but we totally flip-flop when we traveled. So instead of having our tournament in November, Thanksgiving time, and traveling at Christmas time, we're doing it just the opposite. We travel Thanksgiving time. At Iowa State, you're out the whole week of school. Our kids don't miss one day of class. There's a lot of really good Thanksgiving tournaments now. And then the home thing, Christmas time, is trying to find a way to play at home. We don't have to travel, don't have to worry about the weather. Bring some different teams in here. And hopefully, you have enough of a fan base where people are kind of getting a little claustrophobic, tired of sitting around, nothing else to do. It's, time to go watch a little basketball. So that's kind of how it came out, and it's been very successful. It's something that's really, we've had some good teams here. You bring in different teams. I think they've enjoyed it, and hopefully it'll be the same way this week.